Okay, so Kate, you're up for the McLean Award, and it seems that it's, rare for a sophomore to be up for such a big national award. How does that make you feel?
It feels great to be seen as one of the top players for my position, and I mean, it just shows that my teammates find me down low, and it just shows the hard work that not only I've put in, but my teammates. And it's great to see Ari being, seen as one of the best guards, and to see Adia that just came out today as being, looked at as one of the coaches of the year. So.
I know that you don't like to, you sort of push off like the awards. It's nice to get awarded, but this is a big deal. Dominique, what do you think about her, being up for this, being nominated for it as a sophomore?
No, it's amazing. It's a great accomplishment, for someone so young to get this national recognition. I think she's come a long way, and she's gotten better and better, and she continues to grow in her game. And that's something that you want to see from your teammates to help succeed and things like that. So to see that she's doing it as a team aspect and for herself is well-deserving.
And what do you guys think about, like, now that, like, this is rolling in and Ari gets another one and your coach gets up for another award nationally, do you think it's starting to sort of break through that other people are seeing what you guys are doing here?
I think just, us coming here, Dominique and I especially, because we chose this, after the fact, but just shows that, this is one of the values that we have as a team, is to leave a legacy, and I think that we are doing that not only as a team but individually, and it's amazing to be able to see that, we are starting to, make an impact on not only Pac-12 but, nationally.
Dominique, you're going into the last part of your final season in college, and you really upped your game since coming back from the injury. I mean, just kind of explain that inner fire that's going to take you the rest of the way, into the tournament and the NCAAs.
Just doing what I can to help the team succeed, whether that's scoring, being on the defensive end, getting steals here and there, assists here and there, just whatever I can to help the team win. It's not necessarily about me being a senior, being this last full ride or whatever, however you want to put it, just doing what we can to finish the season out strong, head into Pac-12 strong, and then head into the NCAA and hoping to make a strong run.
People always talk about the Utah and Colorado road trip as being difficult because it's the only one they have to travel to 2 states. Do you guys see it that way, or what are the challenges with this road trip?
I think it's funny because we were just talking about it this morning after Skill, and Dominique said that it was supposed to be harder at Colorado last year, but she felt that it was harder at Utah, and honestly, I felt the same way. I just felt like it was so much harder to play at Utah than it was, playing at Colorado. But I think that, being so far in the season, we're in better shape. So I hope that, that helps us. I mean, it's never easy to play in high elevation, but I think we're ready. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
And it's 2 more games, just like last week, where you guys are the ranked team going against unranked team. So how do you kind of handle being the favorite as opposed to being the underdog like you always were early in the conference season?
I think rankings at this point, yes, it's something to be proud of, but you can't really take these teams lightly. The Pac-12 is a very competitive conference, and you see ranked teams in our conference go down unexpectedly. We have to come in like we're playing against another top 10 team. We're playing against Oregon, Oregon State, UCLA, whoever it may be. So we just got to come in, play our basketball, not take them any lightly, because it is a hard place to play, and they're two great teams. So we have to just play our basketball and play them well.
What do you two both remember about last year playing in Utah regarding the altitude? Because for both of you, it was the first time playing there. Were you guys just gassed or what?
It was, especially, I want to say it was one of the first games we played where it was 2 almost back to back, Friday, Saturday, because we had played ASU and that was one game, I want to say. And so it was just, it kind of hit us right in the face. We were no, I don't think we were ready for how it felt to play so close together. And I mean, we've improved so much from there that I just think that that won't really bother us that much to play in the elevation. And I think just focusing on the game will really help us to kind of overcome that aspect. So I think we're ready.
At Utah, do they try to, I know Colorado, they have signs everywhere that says like, oh,
Oh, yeah,
they're,
yeah.
however, whatever the elevation is. They kind of do something like that at Utah too.
Not that I'm aware of last year. I don't think they did, but Colorado, they're not too shy in saying they
Yeah.
have the signs everywhere, and then in their intro video, you're playing in 12,000 feet or whatever altitude. So they're definitely not too shy. I think their style of play, they use the altitude to their advantage, and we just got to come out strong. We can't come out lackadaisical, because with their style of play, they're going to look to run and gas their opponents out. So we weren't ready for that last year, and so we have to come out stronger this year.
Do you guys do anything conditioning-wise differently for this trip than you do otherwise? I mean, playing altitude obviously affects your body. I mean, does Coach Barnes make you run more, or is there anything different in your weekly preparation for these two schools?
I don't think so. I think she just like reminds us that the elevation is high and to make sure that we're hydrating extra, eating better than we would just to prepare our bodies to play in that. But she doesn't really change any of the conditioning or anything. She just reminds us of the difficulties playing in high elevations.
I think it was Coach Close at UCLA. Somebody said that their nutrition person said they should like drink beet juice or something. So even though they didn't like it, they were doing it. So there's nothing that like somebody has thrown at you that says that they're saying like drink some green thing or something or.
Oh, no, I don't think so. We are starting to get, what is it called,
The smoothies?
no, those like little packets to put in our waters and stuff like that.
It's like hydration packets, and they like it helps you to be able to drink. Like it keeps you more hydrated than if you were to drink water. Like mixing it in helps you to stay more hydrated, and we've been drinking those. But I mean, I don't think our team is really interested in drinking like green juices or beet juice.
Maybe Lucia.
Yeah,
but
Lou would
not-
probably be the only one, but everyone else would probably turn the other way. So.
Anything else? All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Good job.
So what was it like to be nominated for Coach of the Year?
I mean, cool. I just, like, someone actually texted me this morning, but I think it's just an honor, but that goes along with winning and your program being ranked and all that stuff. I think that's just a part of it.
Do you think that the nation's finally catching on that Arizona has a good brand of basketball?
I hope so by now. I hope that they're catching on and seeing that we have some really good players and we play a fun style and that we're able to beat anybody. I think so. I would hope so by now.
What do you think of Kate being nominated for, the Katrina McLean Award as a sophomore as opposed to as an upperclassman?
I think it's a tremendous honor for Kate. She puts in so much hard work. You know, she really, those things matter to her. She wants to come here, break all my records. She's determined to be great. That's why I think she's going to be great. But I think it means a lot because it's national recognition for our players, which is good for her and it's good for our program. And she, people are looking out for her and they're looking and recognizing her talent. So I think it's a great honor.
She's someone who sort of she's proud of that, but yet she's more about the team, and she always defers to her teammates, which, so it's sort of hard to gauge, really what it sort of means to her to start getting these and start getting recognized, even, winning Pac-12 Player of the Week a couple times this year so far.
Yeah, and as a player, I don't think, it's something she focuses on, but it's something that as a player, you want it. You may not say you want it, but every player wants to be an All-American. Every player wants to be all Pac-12. If they're saying they're not, they're probably not competitive and they're not at this level. So I think everybody wants that. I think that's what you strive for. For me, when I was a Pac-12 freshman of the year, I wanted to be all Pac-12. I wanted to break those records. I wanted to be an All-American. That's like a player's dream. So that's for sure Kate's dream. She was a McDonald's All-American. She wants to get those awards, and she should, and she works hard. So I think for her, winning is the most important thing, like everybody on our team. But I think her getting the recognition and respect, and I think asserting herself and being someone that you have to think about in the scouts, I think those things matter. And I think that's one of the reasons why she's so driven, and it makes her work hard.
What do you think the biggest challenge in this upcoming road trip to the mountains is?
That it's a road trip. The biggest challenge is that you're playing on the road in the Pac-12, so that's a challenge in itself. We have the greatest conference in the country, and every road trip is a battle. So it doesn't matter if it's Phoenix, it doesn't matter if it's California, Utah, Colorado, it's just hard on the road. And that's how good our conference is. But I think, it's a little bit further distance, so it's harder and they're good teams. I think the more challenging thing is just where we are in the program. So, us being ranked 11th, everybody has a target on our back, and that's uncharted territory for us. So it's different, and I think it's a lot easier to handle that at home. But I think for us, knowing that we have to step up and bring our A game everywhere, I think that's the challenge. So it's going to be a very difficult weekend because those are teams that are hungry. If you're coming off a loss, you're more hungry. If you haven't won a lot, you're hungry to get a win. So I think in every program in the country, you want to finish off strong. As a player, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So you are determined and hungry to finish well, and we are all thinking about our placing in the Pac-12 tournament. That's just the nature of where we are in the season. So it's going to be a battle, it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a really tough weekend.
How do you deal with altitude?
You don't. I don't think it's a factor. I think we're conditioned. We press for 40 minutes every game. So if we're not good shape, that's my problem. I think it's more of a psychological thing. I think it does affect you. I think you're a little bit more dehydrated and dry, but I don't think it affects your game because when you're a good player, it's you're in a zone and you're just in the moment. So I don't think it should matter. I think it's all psychological.
So you guys don't do anything different this week to prepare?
No, we don't. Because if we're not prepared by now, then that's shame on me. So
what makes Kate so valuable that she's up with the Ruthie Heberts of the world for this award?
Her work ethic and her competitiveness. I think those couple of things separate her. And she's not the most skilled player in the world. It's not the prettiest, and it's a lot like me. My game wasn't pretty, but you find a way to get the job done, and that's what Kate does. She finds a way to put her head down and score. She runs the floor. She works hard. So a lot of hers is through work ethic, and what you'll see is her skill will start to improve. Like now she can shoot the three. When she first got here, she could not shoot the three. But now she's consistent. Now she's taking, making shots that are tough and contested in the shot clock. So those things. So next year, you should see her stronger inside. You should see her a better three-point shooter. So every year, it's our job to develop her. And then she's working hard. Like, she's got to put the work in, and she does. So just get a little bit better every year. I don't think she'll win that award this year. I think with the people who are on the list are better players right now, more experience. But I think that if she keeps on doing those things, she will win those awards later. If she keeps on working hard and putting extra work in. I think there's a small margin between good and great. And I think a lot of players nowadays don't have what it takes to be great. And like, she's someone who is more competitive than the average player. So she definitely used that to her advantage.
In general, like during the Pac-12 season, when you have like the Friday, Sundays, would you rather play the better team first because I'm assuming you have more time to prepare, or would you rather play them second maybe because you think your team's conditioned better? And maybe
Well, I
have
think the second game's harder. I think for us, I'd always rather play, Utah first because traveling from Utah is hard. You're stuck all day on a Sunday, everything's closed. So I think those are different factors that you don't think about. I mean, we had a noon game last year, finished at 2 and didn't fly out till like 8 o'clock at night, and everything's closed. So that's like, it's just a grind. So much easier when you go to Utah first, then you go to Colorado, it's easier to get out Denver. So I think for us, that's easier. And I think that just you do have probably more time for the first thing, but our job is like the first couple of days we're preparing for both, so it's pretty equal. I think that it's more important to play good on the first day. I think when you're on the road and you have success the first day, I think you're just more loose the second day, versus you don't play well the first game, it's a little bit more stressful the second game. But I think this is a good test for our team to see where we're at, see how we can step up when we have a little bit of pressure, and see how we respond moving forward at the end of the season.
Having said what you just said about the second game being tougher, the Oregon trip, I thought was makes that even a greater testimony
Yes.
to the way that they bounced back after that. So you can like lean back on that.
For sure. I mean, because we got stomped the first game. So usually we could have laid down and just canned it for the second game. But I think that our team's determination was to not get swept. We hadn't gotten swept this year, and like that's not something we've done in a while. So I think for us, those kind of like small things to focus on. And then like last week in here, we wanted to get a sweep. We wanted to take care of home. It was important. So I think just a different level of where we're at in our mentality. But it's just a challenging trip because of all the factors. And on the road is just a beast. And I think the environment's different. Like we're used to playing in front of 6,000, 7,000 people. Utah, there's maybe 100 to 200 people. It's totally different environment, different court. The freshmen haven't seen it yet. So the road just poses those challenges just because. But I think we've done really well on the road. We're actually a better road team this year than a home team overall. So I'm pretty positive.
I was going to ask about the difference in the crowds when you're on the road like that, because everybody's not drawing the way you guys are drawing.
No, only there's 3 of us that are drawing like that.
Yeah. So when you get up there, how much more difficult is it to get them engaged in the game? Because it almost feels like a scrimmage or a practice.
Yeah, it does. It's just different. I think you have to draw energy from your bench and your staff, so it's just a different feel. And I think that when you're experienced, you've already been there, done that. But when you're not, it's different. So like for Helena, it's different. She doesn't see snow too often, so she's gonna be like, "What the heck?" They're like playing in the snow and stuff. That's how us Arizona people are. But it's just, I think it's a good test for us though, because playing different people and just having different adversity, I think that's a part of growing, and I think that's when you grow. So this is going to be a huge weekend to see how we grow and to see where we're at and to see how we're getting better. I think it's a good test for us.
Relationships in the team, though, I mean, you guys seem
Yeah, we're great. Yeah.
really tight.
Yeah, we're
so
great.
That has to help.
Well, it does help because, like when I first came here, it's like you can't room people together because people don't like each other. We don't have those issues. Sometimes, like now, the problems I think of are, okay, don't room 2 freshmen together because they'll forget something or they'll be late. So let me get them with someone more experienced. So it's just different things, but that's a part of, we always talk about culture. We have a good culture, and I think that's why we're winning. But also, I can say winning cures all. So when you win, there's things that you don't notice or talk about. When you lose, everything's magnified. And that's just the way our sport is.
How encouraging was it to see your team shoot the ball the way it did?
Really good, really encouraging, especially because on the road, even if it goes down 5%, it's still good shooting. And in the past, we struggled from the outside against zone. We still are rated really well against zone because we move the ball, get the ball inside. I think we have good ball movement, but it's a lot easier when you hit shots. And I think it's a lot easier to win on the road when you hit shots. And having Helena be like the catalyst for that, coming off the bench, being a very good three-point shooter, it helps our team. Having Sam be aggressive, Dominique aggressive, Kate aggressive, it makes a difference in our team. So now what's going to happen at this point in the season, different people have to step up, and that's a part of being a good team. So we need people to step up right now. And whether it's Helena to continue to do that, Sam, Dominique, I think everybody has to do their part if we want to get to the next level and if we want to get to the tournament and be successful.
Last year, you talked about, at this time of the year, you talked about how different ways that you use to motivate your team because, in February it gets hard, and towards the end of the season it gets hard. Is it different this year?
Yeah, because we're more intrinsically motivated. We want to be great. We want to make the tournament, but it's not good enough making the tournament. We want to win. So I think the mentality is different, and that's the evolution of your team. So I think that's just a part of the growth because we achieve some success with the NIT, and then you get hungry. So then you want more. Winning the NIT or going to the NIT would not be good enough. So I think the mentality is different, so the talks are different. The expectations are higher. You have to compete at a different level. You have to play at a different level every game because people they're confident to play against you. And like teams, when you're playing teams that haven't won as much, there's nothing to lose. And we were always that team. Those are the hardest teams to play against. Nothing to lose. They just go out and play, and then you steal some games. So I think for us, we have to play our style. People have to step up, and we have to be consistent in what we do. And I talk to the players about that. You got to be consistent. So you can't one day be this, the next day be that. You can't that's not what a good player does. Sam Thomas is an example of that. Aries is an example of that. They're consistent. I know every single day what I'm getting from Sam Thomas. It's not one day she's great, one day she has energy, one day she looks it's not that. So that's what you want in your players. Dominique's consistent. I know she's going to give 100%. She's going to play hard. Whether she fouls, whether she makes a shot, she doesn't. Her defense is going to be consistent, those things. So as a team, that's what we want to be. We want to do the things we do well, which I think we have a defensive identity. I think we're pretty good defensively. There's areas we need to improve on, but we got to do what we do well. And because then I think every game you approach, you're not working on everybody else's. You don't have to work on 20 plays. You work on tendencies for other teams, and you work on basic things. But if you have a defensive system and you have your principles, you can rely on your principles because there's only so much stuff in basketball. It's a back cut, down screen, whatever, flare screen. So you have a system. There can be scout-specific things you adjust to with certain players, but you don't change your system every game. You have your system. So I think that's one of the things we've done well this year.
Does this now make your job as a coach a little easier because you don't have to do the things that you had to do in the past?
No, I think it's harder now. I really do. I think it's harder or the same, maybe a little bit harder. I think because the time demand. So I think there's just higher expectations. There's more stuff you have to do and more stuff you're drawn to. I think that's what's more challenging. I think that it's not a pressure because I don't look at stuff like pressure because I do my best, and if my best is good, it's going to get me. If not, I just keep on working until something else. So I don't approach it like that. But, we want to make the tournament, but I'm not really thinking about the tournament. I'm thinking, we have 4 games left. We need to try to win these games. So I really try to narrow my focus and just not get overwhelmed by all this stuff and just, I don't let the exterior stuff affect me. And just because the team, they need to think one game at a time. They shouldn't be thinking about Colorado. They should think about Utah. So I try to really not talk about all the other stuff. But I think it's probably a little bit harder now because I think it's easier when you're hunting. I think it's harder when you're the hunted. And I think that's just the way it is. But that's a good problem to have because to me, the climb is fun. This is a lot of fun. It's not fun being on the bottom. It's fun climbing to the top and seeing now when you get there, how do you stay there? And we're not there yet. So we're climbing, and I love it. It's probably the most fun years I've had.
Talk about Samaje's minutes in the last game. I thought she looked really.
Yeah, she played really well. Samaje's getting better. Really a better job making decisions of not being in foul trouble. Because sometimes she'll get some easy fouls, and they're not always fouls, but the discipline and going straight up when you're 6'6". Those things we talk about and work on. But she's important for our team. We need Samaje to take a step up and to play better and to help us win. And she can do that. She's capable. She's our only true big girl. So it matters how she does. When she plays better, our team is better. And so we need that different look with, we have Kate and Dominique. Samaja gives us size, blocking shots, changing shots around the rim. So we need her to continue to play like that. And I expect her to.
Any more questions? All right,
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
San Diego State.